War Report coming live every Tuesday at 7 with Steve, Cat, Ryan, Amanda, and Eric. And the voice of NEW, Vince Berry. Hitting all the topics like a clothesline flurry. Turn up your speakers and hear them out. You can listen from your car, even on your couch. They too raw, who NXT? Handing out SmackDowns, follow on IG. Plus, it's sponsored by Tag Me a Date. Go to YouTube and sub now for every update. It's all wrestling here. No safe space, now listen in. Time to hear from some of the greats.
Extreme Championship.
Welcome, everybody, to a special edition of the War Report After Dark, but really in the afternoon, to talk about night one of WrestleMania. And there's a lot of different opinions on this show, and we've got a full fucking panel. You always know it's a special edition when the chairman of the board joins us. So welcome, everybody, to an afternoon edition, a special edition of the War Report. And how do you not open with a little ECW and Paul Heyman? And I got to tell you, before we get into Mania, that Hall of Fame acceptance speech will go down in history as the greatest of all time. There was none ever better, in my opinion. Paul Heyman was amazing from start to finish. Yeah, I can't say enough. I mean, that made the whole thing. The rotundas with the tribute to Bray, of course, was also special. But man, Paul Heyman, you're damn fucking right, he belongs in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's a slam dunk. For as much as guys like Vince McMahon wanted to get Heyman out of the wrestling business in the 90s and the 2000s. And the 2010s, there's a pattern. He survived, man. One of the few that tried to take it to Vince McMahon. Didn't necessarily, ECW was big. It was the third of the top three, but it wasn't WWE stature. Interesting relationship between Paul and Vince, because there was a time where Vince was paying Paul to book certain guys and keep them, like somebody's coming off an injury or maybe whatever, he'd send them to ECW and he'd kick them a couple bucks. But then, every couple of years he'd try and fire the guy or whatever. It was just it was a weird relationship, but it all comes out in the wash. Paul Heyman absolutely, starting out as a photographer, a ringside photographer or whatever it was. And then, working with everybody you work with, Todd Gordon and Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert and Doug Gentry and everybody else. They created something that maybe should have faded out, but we're still doing ECW tribute street fights. That's how big this little company on the corner of Swanson and Rittner in South Philly. And 30 years later, it's still being remembered.
But that's also why Paul said what he said in the speech. For people that think ECW died during the bankruptcy court hearings, they can suck because the reality is there is tributes to ECW in every company every night. Anytime you see a table match, you automatically have to just correlate that with ECW.
I mean, that's their, for sure.
Think about it. You don't hear WCW chants.
No, No,
We don't.
he took a shot.
Well, I
And
mean, you didn't hear WCW chants in the 90s either.
the other thing that I really
Yeah, you
like,
heard NWO chants.
Right. The only chants you heard were ECW and NWO for the company.
what I really do like too is that when it comes to Paul Heyman, you know he's going to say whatever he wants to say. And, you know, he made references to Vince McMahon in front of Stephanie without ever saying his name, but you knew what he was talking about. The compliments to Triple H, I mean, there's no bigger flower you can give somebody in the business, especially coming from somebody like Paul Heyman.
Right.
You know, there was just so much great stuff. And then when he started talking about ECW and he puts on the gear and he even takes out the cell phone that he cracked over Sting's head, like it was just so everything. And then he talked about Brock Lesnar, which, by the way, Triple H in the press conference did not say that Brock is done with the company by any stretch of the imagination. So I think Paul Heyman being able to say his name twice, I think says that there's always potential. But his name was said, and Stephanie was there. She looked great, rocking ECW. I think all around it was just, you know, even the end. You know, I've taken too long. I have to pee. Like the whole, he was just amazing.
We all know the story of this Paul Heyman is just insanity, right? 15-year-old boy bets on himself, knows what he wants to do, comes from the Bronx, moved up to Yonkers.
Jew boy from the Bronx.
There it is, right? It's fucking amazing to see that this is what his dream was, and he brought it to fruition, and is still doing it at this high level, right? So Paul Heyman is the fucking best.
And he's going to go down as one of the most important people in this industry.
Right.
Oh, without question.
100%.
Without question.
Absolutely. And the way he did it was so brilliant. Like you said, how he mentioned Vince and everything without mentioning Vince. It just was so eloquently done. Oh, there we go. Never mind.
Well, it didn't take very long. Our boy David Roscoe over at YouTube wants us to just let anyone know who did not watch the Hall of Fame that Trish Stratus was there. That is his
We
favorite.
acknowledge the tribal queen.
We acknowledge. Also from David Roscoe, Raw Tag Team Championship. All right, you're jumping the gun as usual,
That's
David.
okay.
I'm going to hold your comments for later. But
But he's not
get
wrong.
into it, he's not
David,
wrong.
you're not wrong.
But we're going to hold off. He likes to, jump ahead.
I appreciate, like, I think what he does is he gets them all out and then he leaves it to you to put it
Well,
on.
he does, but my problem is I don't read first. I hit the button first, and now I gotta watch what he I just see David Roscoe, I hit the alert, and there we are. But
do you know I watch too many of these YouTube live streams to know that you have to read the comment before you put it on the screen? Not that David's going to do anything, but
right, it's David Roscoe.
It's David. I've just seen people change their profile picture to something not great, or like.
That's why Steve should have done that before Zoe Stark picture came on the screen that night. But
Okay, see,
He
that's
told me to do it. He
Zoe
told me to do it.
Zoe Stark, future Hall of Famer.
I feel like booting her
yes!
Where were you when Zoe Stark started her famous run at WWE? She's gonna beat Charlotte's record.
I think Steve's favorite part of WrestleMania is the fact that Zoe Stark isn't anywhere on either show.
I know, which makes me sad.
She is exactly where she belongs, in the locker room at catering.
We'll get into that, because I feel like, listen, not that Zoe Stark needed to be on the card, but for me, 2 nights of WrestleMania is still too much. I felt simultaneously like the show was both too long and there was too much filler. But we'll get into. But I'm just saying, for the women, like we're talking about Zoe Stark,
right? You could have. Here's what I will say though. I was actually shocked that it ended pretty much around 11. So I wasn't mad at that. I mean, we've had night ones that went till almost 1 o'clock in the morning. Like, so yes, it's a lot.
Steve, I
am not a fan of.
I swear to God, I shaved my entire beard off during Roman Reigns' entrance, and it grew back during that fucking match. That's how long that match was.
Oh, it was not that. We'll get into it.
It was the second longest match in WrestleMania history, between Bret and Shawn's Iron Man match, and that was 60 minutes and went to overtime. What are we doing? Do we need The Rock walking around with a goddamn Prime Energy bottle for 45 minutes? Suck my dick.
Easy now. It wasn't that long. So we have
a little over
2 minutes of entrances. I literally timed the thing.
The Rock's entrance alone was probably 10 minutes.
The Rock's entrance. They should have ended the
At
show.
least it was a good entrance.
Hold
They
on.
should have ended the show after The Rock's
Listen,
entrance because that was
tag match-
what everybody paid to see.
40 match is not bad. 40-minute tag match is not
Okay,
bad.
put in Sarah's comment
Put
really
on
quick.
Tara's
Yeah, you gotta
comment
put
really quick.
you gotta put Tara's comment up for because this is
Cheers, please.
Well, I think we should get into it. Steve, you ready to go? Let's get it.
Santos Escobar.
I bet you what,
We joined in.
We would be
If-
broke.
if Chairman was in that match, it might have been good. We'll get him.
Oh.
All right, listen.
All right, listen, let's review WrestleMania 9. Let's talk about it.
Bobby Heenan coming backwards on the camel. stole the
Yes,
show.
we open up with
First
JR
of all.
in a toga.
All right. So here's
Pincus Maximus.
all right. Listen, here's let me just get this out and then we'll go around so that we're not all jumping all over each other. There were a lot of comments in our private chat throughout the entire evening. Here's what I will say. Here's what I didn't like. Okay. From a business standpoint, I understand and I get it. But I really do not like the advertising around the ring. I mean, it was
Prime
every
logo.
match. The Prime logo, Cody kissing the Prime logo. Like, what the fuck? Like, that kind of shit bothers me. The dude wipes all over the fucking thing. Like, it was just every match. It was too much. But from a business standpoint, think about the millions of dollars they made each match with these advertisements. So from a bit, but
hate to be
it
cynical.
bothers.
Do we get a dividend at the end of the year? Do we
We
get a
get
check
nothing.
in the mail? All right, I don't
No,
because
but
when
from
Triple
a
H talks
business
about how much money
standpoint-
they made, they use that. McDonald's makes millions of dollars. Do they make gourmet food? Like come
We,
on.
we all know business, right? But the point of it is in any major event, boxing or otherwise, UFC, there's always going to be advertisers. And that's why that's there. And being that Logan Paul signed with them, that it makes perfect sense.
It does make sense.
Cody is not actually kissing Prime. He's kissing the ring that he
Right,
does
but it was
every
funny
fucking
that
way. it
But
is.
it's just the way, yes, and you're right. But the way that it
was-
appeared,
dude,
and
but-
it was right
It's
after
the
they
middle
made
of the
the
ring.
announcement that he's going to be the first WWE star sponsoring Prime
Yes,
and all
dude.
that. But
I know because I know he kisses the ring. I was like, he's he gonna do it?
WCW has been doing that forever. Every fucking show they put some fucking advertisement on the ring.
listen, we had Ico Pro. Like like this is not the first time.
Yeah,
But
it feels so outside of like there were certain things like Stacker 2 was a big ad. Like there was Ico Pro. Like that all kind of aligns with what you think of like wrestling advertise. Prime Energy just seems so far like are they Twitch streaming? Like what are we do? Like why are these guys why are we
Got to cater to a new audience, Vince. We're the old folk now. That's how it
we are
works.
the old folk now.
The
Yeah, but
business
here's-
changed.
they don't
People
realize
who know use Valvoline.
the old right 1-800 collect 1-800 call ATT. But the old like I don't know if they know this. The old people have all the money and the young people have no money. So like we're the
fair.
ones making the buying decisions. So maybe they should market to the people who have the money.
That is fair, but we also have to look at what it is. Nowadays, it's about what it looks like, not what it actually is.
Oh
Right?
yeah.
It's all about how we're viewed, streaming, so on and so forth.
Right.
That's a different conversation. Let's get to WrestleMania.
So let's start with
Yeah,
the
we gotta start
beginning.
with this match.
Yeah, work our
let's
way
do it in order.
Yes.
Because I will say this. If there was, and we always say it, first match of Mania is just as important as the main event, right? If you're not first, you want to be last. If you're not last, you want to be first, right? Get that out of the way. What a choice to have WrestleMania open with Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley. And Rhea Ripley's entrance was the entrance of the night until I saw The Rock's entrance, and we'll get into that. But Rhea Ripley's entrance
Agreed.
was unbelievable. That band that she has that does her theme, that played her out, did an amazing job. The fact that Rhea sang her own song all the way down to the ring, the look in her eyes when they, that song, when she's halfway down the ring.
Her whole, look after that guy.
She
that guy
gave
looks
me
just like him.
that. Well, it was funny because Mitch and Al were over, and Mitch looks over and he says, or I look at Mitch and I go, was that? I thought that was Rhea Ripley for a second. Like when it was first zoomed in, I was like, what the fuck? But it got me excited. I got the goosebumps. Like it was she looks great with the long hair. The entrance was great. The energy was great. The crowd was great. And the match was great. It was such a great way to open.
Great?
It was a great opening match for WrestleMania. Absolutely.
Chairman,
Chairman,
it was a great. I will give this to Steve before. It was a great opening match. Do I think it's something that I'm going to go back and rewatch and be like, oh man, no? But I think the energy was there to get.
Let me clarify this. I'm not sitting here saying that I think it was better than Rhea Charlotte from last year.
There we
Let's
go.
say that.
Go ahead, Chairman.
But it was still a great match. But go ahead.
The opening match is always very, very tough, right? Like we talked about. It sets the tone. It's got to be as just as good, hopefully, as a closer. But to your point, great entrances. It was fucking freezing outside. Becky was allegedly ill all week.
102 fever.
And strep throat.
I remember my first beer too. But besides that, my only issue with the match, in all honesty, was being that it was such a high-profile match, well-built story-wise, I felt it was lackluster. I felt, Becky just didn't deliver. I felt it was an uneven match, being that Rhea just looks so much better than Becky. Becky lost way too much weight since she's returned, and it just doesn't seem believable to me at all. And then the finish, where she does whatever, the riptide on the turnbuckle, right?
Oh, that finish was, I remember that now. The finish was wonky.
She should have ended there, did a quick roll up or just some move, DDT something. She need to do it again. She then picked up again and did the finish. It made absolutely no sense. It was wonky. And then it just ended the way we knew it was going to end anyway. So I just felt like
it didn't ruin it for me.
It was off. That was my.
They recovered fast enough, but I still think it was a weird. I was in two. I'm sorry, I was in two different group chats yesterday because I was. Well, all right. Tara may want to cover. I don't know. Tara's pretty down. I was dipping magic mushrooms into peanut butter and eating them like you would feed a dog pills. So I was in two different group chats during the WrestleMania. I don't remember who said what, but I had a brief conversation with somebody about that finish, and it was like, was that a botch? And like, yeah, I think so. But then it moved on so fast. It was almost like, was it a botch? But it was definitely.
No, it wasn't a botch. That was planned. The issue was, why do it again?
That was planned?
That was planned.
Ugh.
See, that didn't look like a botch to me either. It did look like it was planned, but
it didn't look.
I kind of agree with Sam.
It was then it was clunky. Like
I do agree with Sam. If it was executed cleaner, that should have been the finish. It shouldn't have been another riptide in the middle of the ring. Mm-hmm. But because of the way it worked, you can kind of look at it as Rhea wanted to put the nail on the coffin. It's Becky Lynch. Give her one more good one in the middle of the ring.
It's 100 pounds out there.
Yeah, but nobody's finisher means anything. Cody's gonna have to hit 67 of those motherfuckers tomorrow to win. Like that's the whole gimmick of the.
Can we just give Becky a sandwich? That's
nobody.
It.
Yo, I saw. So speaking of that,
if she would have ate a sandwich, that would have been the best starting match of WrestleMania of all time. That's all I'm saying.
Wait, which was?
What was it? It got
Brett versus Owen.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
another. Chairman, you cut out. What did you say was the best opening match for WrestleMania history?
No, I said if she would have just ate a sandwich in the middle of the ring, that would have been the best.
Well, I have a friend that went to the book signing recently in New York, and he said that she was very, very. He brought his daughter. She was super nice to the daughter. The other comment he said is, she's really, really skinny. Like, and I've seen. I mean, not that I've been close up to Becky Lynch before, but I've been to enough live shows to know she was like skinny, but not like this seems like she really. I don't know if she's trying to go for like more TV or movie roles. I don't know.
She's way too skinny. That's my opinion. Next match.
Match was so this was the ladder match.
She's trying too hard to recover from the baby weight.
That's what I was thinking too. She might be overdoing it and losing too much weight.
So the next match was I think the ladder match.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now listen. Here's what I want to say about the ladder match. Going into it, you had to know this was going to be a car crash dumpster fire. You have 12 people and ladders. Here's what I loved. R-Truth and Miz won the match. Not so thrilled that the other two clowns won.
I was going to say that's Autumn's favorite tag team. I already knew she was going to be happy.
I'm not fucking happy about that. But I am glad to see that R-Truth finally got
I
what he
loved
deserves
it.
and gave him a belt. I loved it. But here's what I didn't like. Most importantly, there are shots that you saw live where it almost looked like the ladders were foam. Then there was also the issue with the referee, Carr.
Jessica, what are you doing?
She was grabbing, like, I even looked at Mitch and Alan. I was kind of like, what is happening right now? She kept reaching for his leg to grab his attention. Now, listen, she saw that the ladder was buckling and knew that they were in danger. So that's what she was trying to get across.
Absolutely. To her
But,
credit, she did that.
It
That's
looked
right.
so bad.
You know, but it looked horrible. But
that's
was a better way
you
to
have
do
to
that.
understand why he did it.
The truck should have cut to a different angle. They just shouldn't have filmed that.
Right.
They
If she's-
filmed-
yeah.
They literally filmed every spot called in that match.
They filmed R-Truth.
Shots.
Chairman, R-Truth handed Damian Priest the goddamn ladder. What was that about?
You know
Uh,
I
what?
think
Well,
he's
now,
still in
hold on.
Judgment Day.
Now, wait. Now, hold on. Now,
That was a
in-
nice
in-
recovery by Michael Cole, but it still didn't make any sense.
in one hand, you're sitting there like, what the fuck? Just why would he do that? The other hand, it's
So true.
R-Truth, and anything
That's on me,
with
though.
R-Truth. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah, but the
he's-
problem is if
he
Damian...
went for a pinfall during the ladder match. You know what I mean? Like it's
right,
R-Truth.
but here's the problem I had was
Oh.
Damian Priest, the referee that was standing next to R-Truth, and R-Truth all had a like 10-second nonverbal eye contact conversation about who was going to hand the ladder in. Why
Yep.
couldn't Damian just point to the referee and go, "You give me a ladder or I'm going to beat you up"? That's what we do in the indies. Whenever somebody wants something that they don't have, they walk up to like the ring announcer or they walk up to a referee and they say, "I'm going to do this and you're going to let me do it or I'm going to hurt you." And because we're not wrestlers, we just give them the chair or the ring bell or whatever it is. Like,
I
we
feel
didn't
like
need R-Truth.
everybody involved in that match was in a rush. Everybody
Yeah.
felt like, let me get my shit out. And there was really, really poor communication throughout that entire match. Besides that, it was, I guess, fun. But if you look at it, every single major spot in the match, you could read them verbalizing it to each other. You could watch their eyes connect and say, "This is what we're doing right now." And
I
every one
agree.
of those, 6 of those were fucking botches.
Here, but hold on.
We're-
I agree with everything you're saying right now.
The ladder's broken on the right side. You can see the red painted foam, right? Damien looks at it. He looks at it, he goes, "Fuck that, I'm going to the other side." He knew he's not going to break his fucking ass on the ladder. He walks around, starts climbing up. As he's climbing up, the referee grabs his leg and says, "The ladder's fucked up." He looks back at her and kicks her. "I know it's fucked up. That's why I walked to the other side, you fucking idiot." And it's like, really? This is WrestleMania.
Here's the thing.
And then Miz runs up the fucking thing to do the South of Heaven, and he throws himself up, and Damien's still reaching for his head as he's falling up. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
Chairman, the ladders. So
There's nothing you said that is wrong.
Right.
Everything you said is 100% right.
That was
That's
fucking,
why
fucking
you don't
Vinny
do
Benoit, JD McDonough.
12-person ladder match.
yeah, JD
Because-
McDonough sucks. What does he do?
Like
Like,
he's the
JD
worst.
Benoit did his.
Instead of fall through tables.
He's no Spike Dudley.
But this is why you don't do a 12-person ladder match
Yeah,
because
I said
you
that
have
from
to
the
have
beginning.
that
Way too many fucking people.
you have to have that communication. There's no way to hide it when you have all these Mania cameras going around. That's why you don't want to do more than at least 2 teams. You 4 people. It's a lot better to communicate and hide it. With these 12, and it's so easy to have botches because there's just too many bodies and ladders laying around. And then the refs, you're right. The communication, it was a train wreck. But on the same point, you had to know going in, it was going to be a train wreck. And for that, it was what it was. And we got R-Truth to win.
We did, and Truth was fucking petrified on the ladder. That poor man was fucking scared out of his mind. But
that was crazy.
Well, that was scary.
But
hey, it's continuity.
Up there or something.
Little Jimmy was up there supporting him.
That's right. Yeah, Little Jimmy was there in spirit because he hit all of John Cena's moves, which makes me
By
think
the
John
way,
Cena
we
might
gotta
come out.
acknowledge Ryan.
Oh,
He said, kudos to Michael Cole for saying that was his childhood hero, even though he's 40.
Yeah, that's
I love R-Truth trying to go for the pin, though.
I mean,
well, the hot tag.
But see,
Yeah,
that's
the
my
hot
point.
tag
But see,
and the pin.
you have R-Truth going for hot tags. You have R-Truth going for pinfalls in a ladder match. So him grabbing a ladder and throwing it.
We're talking. We talked about
out of the realm.
There were 11. There were 11 other people in the match, and I might not be able to tell you who the other 11 were. All we're talking about is R-Truth.
Like, well, because at
R-Truth
the end
is
of the day,
gold.
that's all we care about, right? Like,
Yeah,
we needed R-Truth. He's so hot right now. He
Who
deserves
gives
a
a fuck
belt.
about Regeneration X? That shit made no sense. Those guys have been wrestling for 40 fucking years.
Yo,
finally
terrible.
get shot at Mania, and they're jobbers.
Chairman,
Why did
Chairman,
Johnny Gargano
they-
look like a kid
they-
dressed up for Halloween?
They
Like, what
did
was that about?
nothing for me.
Johnny
They have done
Ray-
nothing for me since NXT. They have done nothing for me. I
And
just
I
can't get
love-
behind them.
For the record,
never
I
have.
love Tommaso Ciampa. He's my guy. I've known Tommaso for 15 years. I love Tommaso.
Michael
What the
Ciampa
fuck was that?
sounds like HBK like 5 years ago. They have the same voice if you listen to
They
them.
definitely do. Steve, the one problem I had, and we'll kick it around. So I know I've been fucking talking a lot here because I have a lot of thoughts to get out. The one problem I had with the ladder match was that the ladder match has evolved from the 90s, which is great, but there was a point where it hit its peak in like the mid 2000s, and then we went over the top with it, where it used to be a wrestling match that involved ladders as a weapon, and now it is every spot felt like somebody was climbing a ladder, got 3 rungs up, and then some other guy came from out of camera and knocked the ladder over. They did that spot so many times during this match that it took away from the fact that you can do, like, at what point does pushing the ladder over, how many times can you go, oh my God, he fell over, and then the guy gets up 5 minutes later and pushes somebody else off the ladder? It was just like they needed to figure out other things to do with
This
the
was
ladder.
more about getting as many people the WrestleMania payday as possible. I guess.
With as many bodies as they had, they were coming up way too quickly.
Well, but that's also
Big
why
crashes.
that's why they came up with the Andre Battle Royal.
I was gonna say,
and
we
all
could have
that,
just done
because
the Andre.
because they want to give as many people a payday as possible, and I
Right.
can appreciate that. But at the same time,
But WrestleMania is supposed to be elite.
Right.
yeah,
it's-
well, right,
it's-
and that's the other thing.
It should be perfect in every way. There's mistakes going to happen, but with 12 teams, they could have put on a decent match. How is that even decent? Nothing happened. Nothing of value. They
That's not true. R-Truth won.
put 6 fucking teams together, right? And they're all random teams, by the way. Fucking random tag teams. Put Jobber 1 with Jobber 2, Mid-Carter 1 with Mid-Carter 2, and let's see
Hey,
what the
New Day was in there.
They spun the wheel and just was
Yeah.
what did we fucking New
I
Day.
don't know. I don't know if it's possible to do that, though. I don't know if it's possible to take 12 guys and ladders and make a perfect match. I don't think it was possible.
I agree with
no
Kat.
matter who was in it.
well.
I agree with Kat.
So when you take a big bump, whatever form of the ladder, you should not come back into the match. It's over. If you're taking a major bump from the ladder, you're out of the match. There is no way you're telling me that
The
two
Dudleys
teams.
have done that. The Hardy Boys have done it. Edge and Christian have done it. That's the way it's always
Yeah.
been. They get up.
The
They-
problem
happens
is
in
those
East
guys.
too.
They can go back in the ring. No,
But it's a way to manage the match. It's like
there is
Yeah.
total psychology in that match. With the Hardys, the Dudleys, and Edge and Christian, there was always psychology. Everything meant something. Yes, there's illustrious spots where it's fucking nuts, and we're like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
A
But
lot
there's
less people.
always a reason for it. There's got to be a reason
A
in this.
lot less people.
yeah, but remember the
It's
year that they had
easier for
Rhino,
them.
Spike was in
You
it.
just added
Yeah.
Lita came
three
out.
more teams to the mix. It would. I guarantee you, if you added 3 other teams to what Edge and Christian, the Hardy Boys, and the Dudley Boys did X amount of years ago, you would have seen just as many botches with that many people in the ring.
That's
It
what I'm
happens
saying.
every year in a Royal
I
Rumble
agree.
when there's too many people.
Yeah.
I
think
agree.
Tony-
Son,
Fair.
my 3-year-old son could have produced a better match. That's all I'm saying.
Or don't book it. Don't book don't book 12 guys. Book 4 tag
Produced it.
teams.
Could he have performed it?
Absolutely, 100%.
Producing and performing it are two different
Little
things.
kids are bounced. They're soft. That's fine.
He's my boy. He's got the skills of everybody. What do you mean?
I would have done just Judgment Day versus Austin Truth versus DIY. Boom, that's it. No other team.
Right. They just, I understand what they wanted to do by putting everybody on the show, but also it just ended up making it a real big car crash.
Split it into 2 matches. That's it. Or do a gauntlet. There's 100 ways you could have done it.
Oh, a gauntlet would have been good.
A gauntlet would have been fucking
it
nuts.
would have been more controlled.
Right.
It would have been better.
And even
David Roscoe over at YouTube, Raw Tag Team Champion, Awesome Truth, and SmackDown Tag Team Champion Theory and Waller. Yes. So I mean that's what we're talking about.
Yes.
who gives a fuck about any of those teams? And any of them have a story? No.
I care about Awesome Truth.
Oh God.
More so really our
Of course,
truth.
Awesome
But
Truth has a story. They've had a story going against the Judgment Day for over 2 months.
And I care about Grayson Waller and Austin Theory.
That's right. Yeah, 3 months ago is when he was.
Waller sucks.
And he's gonna job it out in 2 weeks. So who gives a fuck? Again, a waste of time.
Grayson Waller's the love of my life.
Well, thank God you can't have them.
3 more years.
Oh, thank God.
That's horrible.
Anyway,
Oh, but wonderful at the same time.
Alan, Mitch, you guys got anything you want to add to the ladder match?
It was the right team to win on both sides, as much as I hate to say it for Theory. But you know, it was overall it was a decent match. Again, too much happening at the same time. Yes, less teams would have been a better way to go about it. I think a 4-way team ladder match would have looked a lot better. And the biggest thing about it, so many teams, and you didn't see anything develop from it. Like you didn't see a team really cost a team it, like in a sense of like bumping into them or doing something in a form that, you know, you would want to see them battle in the next Raw or SmackDown. So I didn't see much of that developing. So that's the one thing I took away from it, that I wasn't too excited about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just one of the best part for me was JD McDonough going through the 2 tables. You know, it wasn't that great of a match.
Oh, that was a great spot.
That was
by
a
the
good
way.
spot.
Yeah,
That might have been the best spot of the night, actually. I mean,
I could
the
have
match.
watched that over and over just because it's JD McDonough crashing through a table.
I tell you what, man,
Fair.
he's one of
Him and
the.
his big ass head.
He
He has
is
that
the
Dolph
Crash
Ziggler
Holly.
effect. For me, he has that Dolph Ziggler effect. You know, he takes too many good bumps. Like you
Right.
can never take a believable that he could actually win.
That's
something.
actually a great comparison.
Yeah, but he's
probably
also
now the new
5'2".
Dolph Ziggler. Yeah,
Yeah.
he is, and his
He's
head
way-
is enormous.
Right. His head is like this.
His
His
head's
head,
half his weight.
his head should be on somebody Shaq's size. You know what I mean? Like he's just proportionally.
That fucking kid could work. He
Who?
puts on a hell of a
He
match.
can work. He can work. It's true.
He can work. So he's a residual player. He's the Crash Holly of this generation.
Right. No, listen.
And he
That's
finished
Crash
fucking
Holly.
well.
But the second they put a title on him and try and push him like they did with Austin Theory last year, it's over. Like, why are we? Nobody's going to take JT
Yeah, well,
McDonough
people should
I
have
used to call him Ugly Finn Balor.
Him and Finn are gonna be tag team buddies now.
Who?
They might as well. It's the same shit as any other tag team.
All right. What was match 3? I don't remember. What was the third match?
Wasn't that Jay and Jimmy?
Was that the third
Yeah.
match?
Andrade,
All right. Well,
Andrade and Ray versus.
Oh yeah, it was the other tag match.
Oh,
that was the third match. Yeah.
versus
It was the-
Sam and Dominic Mysterio.
I got to be honest. When it comes to
was the
that
next-
match,
was the
I had no care in the world. It
Yeah.
meant
Did
absolutely
Did you
nothing.
just say it's Sam versus
Sam and Dominic Mysterio.
Sam and Dominic
He looks like
Mysterio?
Santos, dude. That's the first thing I saw. Santos Escobar.
No, Dom and Nick.
It's
Sam,
Corey
how does it
Sam.
feel to lose at WrestleMania?
Yeah.
I get it. I was on the Puerto Rican team, not the Mexican team.
He's going to rip that Burberry sweatshirt and there's going to be an LWO t-shirt underneath it.
That would be funny. Yeah, I mean, is there anything we really have to go into detail? I absolutely
I
didn't give a shit.
my one thing is what I would have preferred should have been the Legado del Fantasma versus the LWO. It could have been a 4-on-4. That would have been great. They still did all the spots anyway, so I guess I got what I wanted anyway.
I was
I
also
thought that would have been a better match rather than just randomly throwing a Judgment Day guy with 2 different teams that have been feuding for 6 months, right?
I was actually expecting Carlito to turn on them last night.
That too.
To be honest.
I was
thought
expecting.
Andrade-
That's what I thought
Right.
too.
I think everybody was expecting Andrade to turn And
Anybody,
Right,
anybody to turn.
I think Andrade did a fucking hell of a job. The guy can work. He looks good.
He does look
I
good.
mean, he's got to be able to speak a little bit more English, and he'll be fine. But besides that, I think he has the tools.
he does, but he's been through NXT, WWE once, AEW, and now he's back here. At what point are you just gonna like? At what point can we just go? You know what? This is a guy with a lot of potential that never actually exercised it.
Yeah,
What
but
if-
I don't know how much of that is his fault. I mean, outside of the language barrier, he's very solid consistently in the ring. He's got the look, and let's not forget too, he's married to a Flair, so
Well, yeah.
he's not going anywhere. So hopefully,
Yeah,
I mean, Charlotte could speak for him.
that you
would
know
work.
what? She could be his mouth. That wouldn't be bad.
that wouldn't be bad.
I wouldn't be
But you know
opposed
what?
to that.
Putting him back in the LWO, you're putting him back with Zelina Vega again too. So
Right. So
that
she can promo for him.
it's
One-
it's
Because putting them together in the first place was really what made Andrade rise.
Right. That was the whole secret sauce of it. The one thing, can I say this is weird that I thought was weird, and I know they were in Philly, and I know they had to get these guys in there somehow, but the idea of this
Kelsey,
right, father,
Kelsey,
the
yeah.
whole idea is father and the other guy, I forgot his name. I apologize, former Super Bowl champion, but this is supposed to be a familial blood feud that started 2 years ago when Dominic assaulted his dad at Thanksgiving dinner and got arrested, and then he became
Yeah.
a convict, and then this whole thing. And we got to this point, and then at the end of it, it's a silly, goofy multi-man tag match where the fucking Philadelphia Eagles won the match. Like, what are we doing? Like, I just
But not to mention in luchador mask, they're 6'7" is fucking no.
and 6'7". I just want a finish. Can I
Thank
just
you,
get a
Sam.
clean? I just want a clean. There were. This is weird for me to say. I think there were only 2 or 3 actual wrestling matches last night, and by actual wrestling matches, I mean something that didn't involve the Philadelphia Eagles, a ladder, prime hydration, or any of the other goofy bullshit. Like there were
This match
3
could've
wrestling
happened.
matches.
But save it, Vince. We got to save it for this next match because probably the worst match in WrestleMania history.
Well,
so I'm glad that Sam has made that transition. So let's go into. Unfortunately, this is something I have to agree. I honestly went into Mania thinking this really could possibly be the entire match of both nights.
it could be a show stealer, right?
You know, when you have Jimmy and Jay as a team, they are amazing. And the shit they can do because they're twins and they just think alike and they know everything. It's just flawless and seamless and amazing. And I was saying, oh my God, the two of them, it's going to be absolutely incredible. And it was the worst match of the night.
All it was super kicks.
It was a super kick party to the fullest,
like a Young Bucks match.
right. It was a Young Bucks match, but not only that, it started off hot and heavy, and then all of a sudden, like you get towards the end and it just stops, and they're just standing there talking, and the
Bro.
crowd is silent, like nobody knows what's going on, and it's all these fucking super kicks, and then I'm sorry, and it looks like they're gonna, and you're waiting for the low blow. That
You're right.
never
You're waiting
happened.
for the low. It's
Yeah,
happening.
it was too
Because he
blatant that
kept
it was
dropping
coming.
down. Like everybody saw
Yeah.
his arm going. Like, wait, come on, bro.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, where the fuck is Rikishi? Because he was there because him and Haku were at Hall of Fame. So maybe they're saving them for tonight in the tribal bloodline shit. But what the fuck? Like it was disappointing. It was lackluster. I was disappointed because they should have torn the house down. And I don't know what I was expecting, but I do know it was a lot more than what we got.
I think you put too much faith in those two. While together, they are good. I wouldn't say they're great. I did expect a lot more, but it did not start off hot and heavy. The only thing that started off hot was Jay's entrance. Lil Wayne fucked it up, of course. You couldn't hear his microphone.
Yeah, that was horrible.
3 seconds of a song that came out 12 years ago. No one gave a fuck, right? And besides the entrance, they literally fucked up the first 3 spots of the match.
And then not only that, if
I
you're
got-
Jimmy,
I
how
got-
do you feel that Jay got this entrance with fucking Lil Wayne and I got nothing, just a regular entrance, like a Monday Night Raw? Like,
but it gets so here we go. So the tally: 78 punches.
Oh, you counted. This is great.
78 punches. 43 super kicks.
Holy shit.
All right.
that's insane.
11 splashes in different varieties of it, right? and no one gives a fuck.
Here's what's weird. I think they did, and I didn't time this out or take like copious notes. I feel like they did a dive like 3 minutes into the match, and when they did that, I was like, oh no, they don't have anything.
How did two Samoans fuck up 2 Samoan drops? How is that possible?
Dude,
you come out of the uterus and you do a Samoan drop, and you can't fuck up.
But the mom does the Samoan drop to deliver the baby.
Right. Here's the thing though. What happens with like
7 jammed fingers? Vince, 7 jammed fingers. They had to pop their fingers 7 times. Look, they took the tape off. They fucked their brothers. They've been fighting their whole lives. This should have been perfect.
Right.
I could agree with Steve right now, and Steve was the worst wrestler of all time. We would have done a better job.
I think it's weird that aside from Brett and Owen, every other brother versus brother match at WrestleMania has stunk. Like, no offense to the Hardys, the Hardy Boys match was awful.
Than it was also.
Yeah, it just feels like, I don't know, maybe it's, you think being brothers, they would have that chemistry together, but.
Although it is odd that it's an every 15 years thing.
Yeah, it definitely is, man.
That's not odd. That's just how someone's born. So if you're 1 year old and 15 years you went to wrestling, and 30 you at WrestleMania, if you're in the family, that's how it goes.
But yeah, I mean, it didn't.
It's a shame. It really should have been.
And the problem,
the whole weekend.
The problem was there was a couple car crash tag team multi-man matches before that were kind of like all over the place. And I thought this match was a good opportunity for like the first third of the show to have, because Becky and Rhea kind of everybody was up, and then it slowly went down over the course of those 2 matches, meaning the fan reaction. And I thought this Jimmy match was going to get them right back because they, like you say, Wheezy comes out, everybody's chanting yeet, whatever. They're all bouncing. Jay is wearing white. They announce him as main event Jey Uso. You're like, oh shit, this is really happening. And as Bruce Pritchard says, and then the bell rang. Holy!
I mean, at least give him Solo to be by his side when he comes out or something.
I will say this. I kind of felt the way I did after the first time you saw Matt and Jeff fight each other. Because that was another one you're sitting there, you're like, oh my God, the brothers are going to go at it. It's going to be amazing. And it sucked. And it was kind of the same thing last night, especially for a Mania. It just was very lackluster and it didn't hit. And it's a shame. All right. So then the next match. The fuck was the next match?
Was it Sammy and Gunther?
No, it was the women's trios.
Oh, it was that.
Oh God.
So
yeah, it was that. Yeah.
I'll say this, and then you guys can take it from there. But I hated the entrance. First of all, I thought the entrance sucked.
Bro, it was fucking Destiny's Child on stage. It was Destiny's Child on stage.
Yeah,
right.
Jade's entrance on its own. Jade's entrance on its own is fire. They should have all just come out to hers or something. It just I hated it. And then you get to the match, and not only did Jade do the same exact spot that she did on SmackDown, she fucked up 2 out of the 4 moves. The splash, she jumped too early. The pickup and the drop was awkward. There was something else I'm not even remember. I mean, whatever. To me, that was filler, and it's unfortunate because that was her debut. By the way, Kevin, what's up? I don't know. That one didn't hit for me either.
Well, while it was filler, you got to give Jade some credit, right? She's picking up girls that weigh 98 pounds, and she's used to doing at least 200, right? They're about a third of her size, so she probably really hasn't worked much with them. She hasn't probably worked at all. She's probably at NXT, practicing her shit, which is why they don't put her on TV. So, and she's excited. I mean, it looked okay. It didn't look great. I don't feel like she botched anything.
I don't think she looked great at all. And
no, I didn't think she
the only
looked
thing
good.
that I liked about Jade is that she looks like $1 million. She
You're
is
right.
absolutely.
The look is,
The look is sensational. I like the whole Storm connection with X-Men, but
she carried this little girl around the ring and dropped her on her face.
That means nothing.
I really think that the whole point of this match was just for Jade to get the win. That's it. That's what this match was about.
Right. That 1,000% is exactly why they did
What's the point of Naomi returning? Because she's part of the bloodline? That's useless.
Well, listen, her being a part of the bloodline doesn't mean shit either, unless she's actually a part of the bloodline.
What is there going to be a bloodline after tomorrow?
Let's turn, well, after tonight, sir.
Oh, that's right, tonight. Shit. Well, it could be after
And
Monday.
that was the whole thing too. Naomi had no spots really to shine in that match whatsoever. It was like,
well, she started the match off and fucked up 3 of the moves. Right. So I mean,
and plus they've had Naomi like lose a bunch.
What
of
I'm saying is, when they had the finish.
At least Naomi wrestles regularly.
What I'm saying is,
they can go in and still look better than Naomi.
Right.
So I mean, it's tough. And then why was Bianca Belair even there to swing her hair around? Like, what was the point of her?
Well, and not only that, but what's disappointing in this is that you had Bianca, who main evented the last 2 WrestleManias,
right?
And now she's on here, and she was out there for 5 minutes. Like,
an afterthought.
She's in the Destiny's Child Damage Control.
Yeah, she went from winning world titles to afterthought.
She went from Beyonce to Kelly Rowland real quick.
Her only moment was the audible hair whip.
Yeah, that's it. Right. That spot we've seen 72 times with Oscar already. So what the fuck's the point?
This match, here's the thing. I watched
Kari not telling the Mist was annoying too.
Oh, that Mist thing was weird.
But fucking Kairi Sane is amazing.
She's Asian. She has a autoimmune.
Oh, that's right. That's right. She's immune to it. It's another rule.
Oh boy, this is bad. So bad.
I'm sorry.
Just remember what Paul Heyman said. We cannot.
Steve, just for the record, it wasn't me.
Just remember what Paul Heyman said. We can't be canceled. Only you can cancel yourself. So we'll come back bigger and better and better.
That's right.
After we canceled.
So that's one of our podcasts when he said that. Okay, good.
All right. So now that brings us to the main event, which I do want to start out with this.
Sammy and Gunther.
No, yeah, you're missing the best match of the night.
Well,
the best match of the night.
That I think was the best match of the night.
The only match I want to talk about.
That is not the best match of the night. Fuck that.
It was. Listen, on a show
Sammy Gunther?
like that was a and everything that went on before it for sure.
Sammy and Gunther was fantastic.
It was.
Everything about it was great. The shit with Sammy with his kid in the back and his wife front row.
I told you they were going to do
it. They did exactly. They did the whole Rocky thing. But but the match was great. The finish was great, and I'm glad that Sammy got over. I can't say anything more than that. It was fantastic. What do you have to shit on that match?
You open up the
if
floodgates.
I wanted to be born in 1976, I would have been. All right. This match made no fucking sense. All right. Sami Zayn is not over anymore. He had his shot. He's done. They had to give him a Rocky gimmick, and they gave him a smaller guy to train him. A smaller guy than he is to train him.
But an Olympian.
It makes I don't give a fuck what Olympics he's in. He's still small. He's done. What does this do for the Intercontinental?
You just made the list.
I'm my own fucking list. My whole thing is, what does this do for the Intercontinental title, and what story do we have next? 2 baby faces, him and Gable fight. Nobody wins, and nobody gives a fuck again. They job it to the next guy. The point of Gunther having the belt was that he's a formidable foe. You can't beat him. He gave him 72 power bombs. Psychology again. Throw the fucking psychology out of the door because we have no psychology in the ring anymore. What the fuck's the point? Gunther's doing frog splashes that look like dead toads. It makes no fucking sense. Why is he on the top rope? Why is he on the top rope? Why?
He jumped. Okay, for anybody who didn't watch this yet, you got to go back. He jumped off the top rope. He landed on his feet and then dropped to his knees and then put his hands down. He did a splash in like 5 parts.
The ref walks over to Sammy and grabs his ankle and goes, "You ready for your comeback?" And Sammy
it was a 5-step frog splash, not a 5-star.
And he's flopping around like a dead Pokemon. And then he comes back and wins? What the fuck is going on? How could you believe this? This is the most unbelievable shit in the world. and his wife says, "Oh, you're in for it." What the fuck is going on? Rocky is old. It's done. He's over. He's gone.
Yeah, but that's exactly what they did a Rocky movie. They didn't do rounds. They just had Sammy get knocked down and saved by the bell a couple times.
Vince, did you not watch when he was walking out to the ring and he kicked the box in the little gorilla position and he hurt his fucking foot? He hit it so hard, his foot hurt.
So
Rocky doesn't show pain.
Well, his Raw debut. So I never understood this. His Raw debut, apparently coming out to the ring, he tore both of his rotator cuffs. I was like, how does he do that? And then I see him backstage going like this with his arms. I'm like, fucking stop it. What are you doing? That's why you fucked your arm up.
He's so excited he fucks himself up. That's better than the
censor. Did you notice they had to mute? They muted the audio for his entrance because he was swearing the whole time up there.
Kevin Owens smacking him in the face was the best part of that.
Oh, that was.
Oh, you're out of your fucking mind.
Kevin Owens psyching him up. What did get the biggest pop?
Oh my God!
What if we get a Benoit Guerrero moment tonight?
I don't think Cody's.
That's not happening. No. They're not going to waste any more.
I'm talking Sammy and Kevin.
No, I think
the U.S. title.
I'm telling you right now, they're not wasting any more time on the Intercontinental title tonight. They're not going to even talk about Sami Zayn. They're not going to talk about anyone because it's done now. They killed it. It's over.
Logan Paul has to win because of the Prime logo.
Logan Paul's definitely winning. All right, so we're getting to the top. Let's talk about the main event. Now, here's what I will say. The Rock's I went into the whole show saying Rhea Ripley's entrance was entrance of the night until The Rock's. The Rock's entrance was absolutely fucking great. The new belt, I don't care what it costs when it comes out, I'm getting it. That belt is gorgeous with the Brahma Bull on it. Fucking awesome. The entrance was great. People are like, oh, how did Roman not get an entrance? Just wait. Roman's entrance is going to be tonight.
Yeah. But even a lot of people... His entrance was fine. Like, that was a great WrestleMania entrance.
Yeah. It was a great entrance. We have a new listener, Corey Dutcher, over at YouTube. Randy Orton's going to win tonight. Listen, I will never be upset with Randy Orton going over. I love Randy Orton, but I think Logan Paul keeps it tonight. I have to say this, and then I'm going to let Vince go on your thing, and then Sam can jump in, and then everyone else, because
we'll shit on it, and you guys can save it.
Well, I'm going to save it first, because here's my thing. You guys have been very vocal about how bad this match is. First of all, I do not think it was the worst match in WrestleMania history. Number two, The Rock hasn't wrestled a match in 12 years, and I honestly thought it was going to be The Rock's just going to get tagged, hit a few spots, whatever. He wrestled the whole fucking match. He went all over the building. The finish was kind of weak a little, I think, with just one rock bottom. But at the end of the day, I don't see anything wrong with that fucking match. It was long. I'll give you that. But I don't think it was as bad as you guys are making it out to be. Go for it.
You want to go first, Chairman, or what?
No, go ahead, Vince. I'll let you do it.
All right. So first of all, according to Wikipedia, this match was 44 minutes and 35 seconds. So it puts it at the second longest WrestleMania match in history behind Bret and Shawn's Iron Man match, which is crazy. There is a pretty good 12 to 15 minute match in there, which is about how long I thought this should go, especially considering two of the guys are going to be wrestling a long singles match tonight. And you're still going to see Seth come out tomorrow. And you're going to see Seth somehow probably in the main event when Cody and Roman, and The Rock's going to be out there again tonight. So I don't know why they needed to be out there for literally starting at 10 o'clock. The entrances started and the match ended at 11. The whole segment was a full hour. And I don't think it needed to be, because you've got tomorrow. Use this as they used it as a tease, but they didn't use it as a quick tease. This was a long, drawn out walk and brawl. Sting did these for 10 years in TNA, and I hated every single one of them. They had a Prime Energy commercial in the middle of it where The Rock got crushed into the hydration station.
Hey, don't talk about Sting. Take it easy.
I'm just saying Sting's great. Sting's last match was way, 1,000 million times better than night one's main event. Sting's last match, I would watch Sting's last match 1,000,000 times before I would watch this match once.
Sting is literally Jesus Christ, so it doesn't matter.
But here's the deal: it would have been fine. The Rock, for me, The Rock looked gassed halfway through the match. There was a spot where there was like a clothesline that was like in slow motion, and then Seth ducked it, and then Seth did the world's slowest sling blade. I think
people's elbow was pretty slow too. The running
to me, and then at the press conference, poor Roman, who is still taking oral chemotherapy, and the way he said it implied, he basically said he has to be on it
for the rest
of his life, or until the doctor tells him he's clear to not do it. But their expectation is he's going to be on the rest of his life. At that press conference, he looked gaunt. He looked so drained, and I don't know if this. I don't think this match did anybody any favors.
That's a fucking work.
The Rock looked slow. Listen, I go by crowd vibes. There was dead silence in that match for minutes at a time. It got to the point where it was like Rocky Horror Picture Show, where they only chanted for the big things that they knew. If it was a rock bottom or a sharpshooter or a pedigree, they'd cheer. And then everything else, they kind of mumbled and waited because they knew there was nothing going on. Listen, everybody knew the finish to this fucking match. Why did we need to wait 45 minutes for it? Just get to the point, have everybody hit their spots.
Because
and
you're
then
not
have
going to get...
But then have the long match tomorrow. This was such an
They're going to do a long one tonight too.
Cody and The Rock are overindulgent. They're so up their own asses that everything has to be epic and fucking legendary. And it's just, here's why I said it was the worst WrestleMania match of all time. Because of the talent involved and because of the time they spent in a match, 45 minutes, and just the overall what happened in it.
I could see why you feel the way you do. I could definitely see it. I understand it. I don't agree with you. I don't think it was the worst match of all time.
Agreed.
I also don't think The Rock did a terrible job.
I agreed.
It doesn't matter that how he had 12 weeks of training or he's been out of the ring for 8 fucking years. I don't give a fuck about that.
Bro, they said they rehearsed this match like in the weeks leading up. They rehearsed it like twice this week. If you rehearse that match twice this week, who didn't cut it by 15 or 20 minutes? Who didn't tell them the match stinks?
Because we all waited to watch that fucking match.
Right.
The whole point of the whole fucking night since 7 p.m. was to see this happen. Yeah. I don't give a fuck how long it went. I needed to see this happen.
It was not only that, and wait. And this is where Sam and I actually agree, because the thing is too, you're complaining that it was 45 minutes long. This may be one of the last few times you even get to see The Rock in the ring, and especially at a WrestleMania. So if they want to go 45 minutes, if they want to go an hour, I'm invested. It was not as bad as you're making it out to be. At one point, I was wondering if the mushrooms were having an effect.
No, dude, I was in the other Discord chat. I was in this group chat and I was in the Discord chat. The Discord chat I was in is with people who range from everyday watchers to I only watch the big pay-per-views. And everybody in there was like, wow, Roman doesn't really look good like half an hour in. Rock really doesn't look that good right now. Oh, the crowd's losing it. Oh, why didn't this? Like, I had one guy who kept every 5 minutes.
Different things.
That's fine, but
every 5 minutes I had a guy going, why didn't this match end 20 minutes ago? Like, that was his comment.
Let me give you my take, right? So we know it's a tag match. We know The Rock is going to be out of it, most of it, right? We know that the Roman's going to carry the match. This is what was going to happen. The beginning was lackluster, headlocks, basics, but they got to get warmed up. They got to get the crowd in, so they got to space it out. My issues wasn't so much the match itself. My issues was it took too long to get to those finishes. The fun stuff, the outside shit.
I'll give you that.
Right. And once that started happening, everybody was fucking on their feet. It was exciting. It got energetic again. The crowd was back. And the point of it is to get reactions. That's why they're out there, to get some sort of reaction. So I think they delivered on that. At the same time, I did not. I thought I could call the match, but I couldn't. I really thought that fucking Seth and Cody were going to win this. I really thought that.
Now that I thought from the very beginning, because this was a way to set up the bloodline rules. Because if you think about it, this is all set up for Cody to win. Now nobody thinks he's got a prayer because bloodline rules. And
Cody is not winning. There's no fucking way he's winning.
I think the fact that
Cody cannot win.
Went down last night, I think he's winning. And I don't want him to, but I think he is. I think he wins tonight.
I'll tell you exactly what happens. Just like what happened last night, Roman Reigns is going to accidentally spear The Rock, and he's going to sell like he's got a big tummy ache, like he did last night. And then Cody's going to try and hit, and then Cody's going to hit 3 crossroads in a row and not get interrupted on the third one. And then he's going to pin him, and then he's going to cry for the 1,000th time at a wrestling show. And then it's just going to, and then Brandy and the dog and his mom and fucking -1 and all of Atlanta, Georgia is going to come out in the ring, and Diamond Dallas Page is going to throw confetti. Like, who cares?
And
Rock,
I think
Rock will look amazing. I don't give a fuck. The
The
Rock,
Rock
was
looked great. He
The
looked
Rock
great.
looked. Listen, visually, I think.
Yeah, visually, he still has the best punch in the business.
When
Name
The Rock,
somebody who could do it besides Chuck Palumbo. There is nobody who had a better punch in. All right.
here's the
We
thing,
don't
when-
agree often, and I agree with everything
the-
he said.
when The Rock-
everything.
People's elbow, fucking great. Rock bottom, fucking great. Knee, spine buster, fucking great. The
Why
Rock
did I have to
couple
wait?
times. Hold on. The Rock did slip a couple times. He did. But remember, his boots are new. He probably hasn't fucking worn those boots. He has to, clean them off under apron first. He slipped twice. He hit really hard on that third turnbuckle. I thought he hurt himself. And he just jumped up and played it off. I was scared. Because when you hit that is like a rock. Literally, no pun intended. It's like a fucking rock when you slip and fall hit that belt.
I just think there was too much blank space where they could have maximized the Rock's minutes.
He literally said to the ref, if you count, you're fucking fired. That was fantastic.
That was fucking great.
No,
But then
He's
it's just,
Asserting the authority.
he said,
Vince.
you know the Rock. He told him, you know the Rock. You're fucking fired. I fucking loved it.
Vince,
That's
I have one question for you. How can Seth top his ridiculous outfit tonight?
Oh my God! Don't even get me started.
He can have
It's
much
impossible.
worse.
he's going to wear Becky's outfit from last
This is
night.
where I get
There
canceled.
you go.
That was the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen. That
Fucking cancel me now because that was the worst fucking thing ever. What the fuck is wrong with that guy?
Bro,
Tyler Black knows how to wrestle. Tyler Black is a great
Yeah.
fucking wrestler. Who the fuck is this?
Yeah, that's not the same guy. Also, I
Why
don't know, dude.
is Becky Lynch as Becky Lynch? Seth Rollins is playing fucking Becky Lynch. How is that possible?
Bro, it was
Why
so
did
funny.
Becky Lynch play Seth Rollins?
It was so funny to me.
What the fuck is going?
Seth comes out in an evening gown, and then Cody comes out in his military jacket, and then the next
He comes out in the Homelander coat.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but then the
Did you
next two.
Cody's outfit looked so bad. That's the worst outfit he ever had. You know why? Because his fucking bus went on fire, and I don't think he had his ring gear.
He might not have. Yeah, because
Look
here's
at the
the
stitching on that. That looked off. It looked cheap. Normally, Cody's the best fucking looking one there.
and it did look weird, but also then they're just the weird thing. These two guys have these big, overdone, like I need to be a pro wrestler and wear this flashy costume kind of deal, like real, like 1980s. What a TV producer on a sitcom thinks a pro wrestler dresses like. And then the next two guys come out and they're just jacked fucking Samoans. And The Rock comes out with this aura. I was like, why don't we just end the pay-per-view here? The Rock came out and made the biggest entrance in WrestleMania history. Like he looks like a goddamn star. And then I'm sorry, guys, Cody and Seth looked like such smaller stars compared to The Rock and Roman Reigns last night. When they were standing across from the ring, it was laughable. The stare down at the beginning of the match, I was laughing.
Hell,
It looked
Roman
like
looks small.
it looked like
compared to
two
Rock.
kids. It looked like two kids going up against two adults. What are we doing? These guys should be U.S. champions. Why are they in the main event of WrestleMania? What the fuck?
I don't necessarily agree with all that, but
I
will say this. So hold on, we got Corey over at YouTube. I agree, Roman did spear Rock, but Cody Rhodes needs to finish his story. My gut tells me he's finishing the fucking story, but the other part of me says that there's no way they can do it because the Roman has made it clear if he loses the title and loses Heyman, because if he loses the title, he's going to lose Heyman.
And The Rock is filming a movie in 30 days. The Rock
We-
is filming a movie in 30 days. So
We got
He's-
Kevin over at Facebook. Someone who we are not going to expect is going to enter the main event tonight to help Roman, but Cody will win tonight. Oh, and we forgot about Priest cash-in. So I think the cash-in is separate. The cash-in is going to happen with Seth versus Drew. The
Right.
cash-in, I think, is going to happen there.
It's
As
not
far
happening.
as tonight, all the surprises are going to happen tonight. Bloodline rules, anything goes. You're going to see Usos. You're going to see Usos that we haven't seen. We may get Austin. We may get Cena. Like there's things that can happen. So it can go any way. But my gut is telling me Cody's finishing this fucking story. And part of me also says, you know what? He should finish the story and then we won't hear about it anymore. The other side of me says, I can't go against my tribal chief.
Yeah, here's the thing. I said it on Tuesday and I'll say it again. They've been edging this story for 2 years. Everybody got all riled up. They're going to come when Cody wins. And then the Monday night post-nut clarity, when you realize that Stardust is your world champion, is going to be amazing. People are going to go, holy shit, we let Cody Rhodes work us for 2 years.
But
and then they're
people
going to
do that
catch
with
on.
Everybody.
but it's gonna like it's just I really think if they put the title on this guy, the bottom's gonna drop out of this fucking American Nightmare WWE run quick. And I think Gunther will take the title from him, probably in Germany.
I mean, that's a safe bet.
He's set up for the main events now. Gunther.
Overall, I think Mania was pretty decent for night one. Do I think it was the greatest Mania of all time? Definitely not. Night two has a chance to really deliver. So we'll have to see. We get ready. We have the pre-show in a couple hours, and then it's go time. But this is already over top of the hour, and we got to get ready. And we will recap night two. And, of course, the biggest Raw of the year, hopefully, if they don't fuck it up like they did last year, on Tuesday. We'll go over it all. But thank you, everyone, for joining us. Vince, take it home.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, did anybody have any 1 or 2 sentence thoughts about the show? Like, Steve, I get where you're at, Steve. For me, I think that Corey Dutcher. Bailey, on the other hand, I hope she wins it. Yeah, she's got to win the championship tonight.
That's 100% happening. There's no doubt about it. Bailey's got to go over.
And then is this one Kevin? This next one?
Bailey's going over.
No, the next one is Tara. When Roman said that, it kind of made me think it's kayfabe and he's leaving anyway because he's sick again. Listen, he's been sick the entire time. He's taking
right. That's medication. The secret. Yeah.
So,
I don't think that plays into it. Whether or not
it might.
Is possible.
Alex wants to say something really quick if he can.
What do you think, Alex? All right. I mean, that's all we need to know about WrestleMania.
Very direct.
Logan Paul's gonna win. Hey, listen, he kept that in for the last 20 minutes, so he's got to get points for that.
That's great. If Logan Paul's winning, I'm gonna break this WWE wrestling and destroy TKO, and then put back
I love this
where
kid.
Vince McMahon was.
That's all for Logan Paul winning. That's what that promo was.
He does not like Logan Paul. That's great. But yeah, man, I don't know. I think this was, I don't vibe with this 2-night WrestleMania. I think WrestleMania should be one night. You put the best matches together. And
even if it goes till 1 o'clock in the morning,
right, even if it's long, or how about this? Start it at 5. It's a Sunday. Start it at 5 in the afternoon.
You don't need a pre-show. Anyone who's tuning into Mania knows everything.
Because the pre-show is part of the show.
I kind of like that I have a lot of things to look forward to throughout the whole week, right? Like a new show will come out, a Slammy Awards, an entrance outside, a little panel. I kind of like that to give us more to do throughout the week before just that one day. But the anticipation of the old school that we had was the Sunday was fucking amazing. I think half the matches last night could have been cut, so we could have definitely fit it all into one day.
Yeah.
But it does make sense to spread it out to give you a chance to breathe. I fucking hate that there's commercials during WrestleMania. I don't know.
I saw the Charmin Bears, dude. The Charmin Bears.
Every 5 fucking seconds of commercial. But as the older I get, I got to take a piss once in a while, so it does help out, I guess, right? So I don't know. There's a lot of positives to this. It seems like it's negative, but it makes sense over time.
I just, man, if I paid $5,000 for a front row seat for night 1 of WrestleMania, or however much it costs, I would have been pissed last night.
The sound quality of the stadium was a little off too. Did you notice that? A lot of delay, a lot of reverb, a lot of echo.
That's always been my experience live at WrestleMania too. Is somebody will get slammed, and because of the way they mic the ring, the bump comes through the speakers like half a second later, and there's an echo. It's fucking weird. Yeah, so they're doing what that is. It's probably the speakers of each section. You're hearing the bump.
The monitors delay. That's what it is.
Yes. Yeah. So there's a little bit of delay. They mic the. I mean, I didn't. And AEW didn't used to mic the ring like that. And then in Boston, they've changed their production. They're micing the ring like that. But it's because it was the
ring. You always got to mic the ring. So
but it was the Garden because it was the Garden. It's indoor. It was smaller. There wasn't an echo. But I think the outdoor. I don't know. Outdoors.
Probably because they only had like 4 fans at the arena in AEW. Anyway, so.
Yeah, I got good seats, $20.
12 people.
But yeah, man, I think this WrestleMania thing, the night 2, I understand why they do it money wise and all that stuff. But for me, if you put on a good takeover on Saturday night at 8 o'clock, and then you put on a good WrestleMania on the Sunday, that's a nice week. And like you said, you sprinkle in the Hall of Fame and this and that in between during the week.
Takeover was good. The NXT pay-per-view was fucking amazing. Did you guys see that?
No, I got to go back and watch it.
I had no idea what time it was even on.
It started at 12. Holy shit. That shit was almost perfect.
Oh, 12 noon, huh?
It was
All
on
right,
yesterday. It beat WrestleMania. It beat night one of WrestleMania. Just saying.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, something to look forward to then.
Well, that doesn't help that they have the show stop and Mr. WrestleMania himself producing the whole fucking thing.
Right. Oh, dude, that's the one other thing real quick is that they had the press conference and Triple H. Oh, man. Triple H looked like Vin Diesel at the end of Chronicles of Riddick after he killed the guy, and he's sitting on the throne, and he's all tired, and then he realizes he's sitting on the throne. He's like, "Oh shit, I'm the king now. I actually have to run this shit." Like, I think he got a text message at 2 a.m. from Vince McMahon, and it just said, "Not as easy as you think, huh?" Like,
my favorite shit is every time Triple H comes out, he has another bracelet on. He has like 700 bracelets, and I think that's for how many hours awake he is every day.
Oh my god, he looked exhausted, bro.
And the glasses
for every day of sleep he
time,
misses.
too, when he's got to read something.
Yo, what were those like at one point he's just gonna have dinner plates as glasses. Like, what was that?
He has instead of trifocals, he has like quadrifocals.
Yeah, dude. That was
He's got progressives. Yeah, like what the hell? It's like
yeah, that was weird. Let's see, Mitchell. What do you think? First time. This isn't your first WrestleMania, is it?
Last year was.
Last year. All right. So second WrestleMania. What do you think?
Last year was night one was better for me than this one.
Boom. What do you think for
And
night
this
two?
one was hyped. This one was hyped. And this one has the potential to be amazing. Like it's a good lineup, and as long as the matches go the way they should, and we have a lot of unexpected things happening, it could make up for the lackluster.
Right. Yeah. I think you're right. I think they got to stick the landing tonight for this
Right.
WrestleMania to be remembered.
Mitch brings up a great fucking point. I think we forget that sometimes it's a ramp up stage.
Right.
We want it all fucking up here, but night one is kind of a ramp up to hit today hard.
Night one is the appetizer. Now we're getting to the main course.
Exactly. That's a good point. I forgot about that. That's
and
true.
on that note,
hopefully,
yeah, man.
Take it.
This has been a very special War Report on a Sunday, which we don't really do that often, but desperate times call for desperate measures. We can't review 2 nights of WrestleMania and a Raw on 1 hour plus on a Tuesday night. That wouldn't be fair to anybody. I feel like you guys would suffer as well, meaning the listeners. So like being able to spread this out, and we had a bunch of people. I mean, we've got this is amazing, Steve. Between Tuesday and then today, we've had like a bunch more people watching. I mean, and then Corey, of course, this new commenter here. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Tara. Thank you, Kevin. Autumn was in the comments, of course, and Tara and David Rosca. Thank you guys so much for commenting. But we do this every Tuesday, whatever platform you're on, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, whatever it is, however you're watching, just stay here on Tuesday nights. We start at 9 p.m. Eastern time. We go for about an hour, maybe a little bit longer if things are, big things have happened. And we'll be breaking down night 2 of WrestleMania and the Raw after Mania and talking about what is to come now that the season finale is upon us. What is the new season of WWE going to be like, so to speak? So I really want you to stick with us at Tag Me a Date, no spaces, all over social media, Facebook, and YouTube. YouTube is Tag Me a Date. Hit subscribe, hit the bell. Twitch is the only one that's different. So it's at Tag Me a Date for Instagram and TikTok and all kinds of stuff. For Twitch, it's twitch.tv/War Report, WARREPORT. But we're going to be live. You can always go back and watch the archives if you want on YouTube or Twitch or Facebook, or if you prefer, an audio version rather than a video version, you can take it with you on the road. Ryan pulls the audio for us after the episode ends, and then we upload it to your favorite podcast app: Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Play Podcast. Just search for Tag Me a Date or The War Report, and you can subscribe. There are 2 wrestling podcasts called The War Report, but ours has specifically the graphic that says Tag Me a Date on it and the channel description of the podcast.
Fuck those guys.
Right, exactly. Whoever they are, screw them. But the description will say, brought to you by Tag Me a Date, Steve, Vince, Eric, whatever. It has our names in it. So it's us. You can hit subscribe, and you can take the audio version with you if you prefer that. But I mean, really appreciate everybody tuning in. Like, this is really cool that you guys are all tuning in and you're all hyped for WrestleMania. And just come back on Tuesday, man, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be right, whatever channel you're on, if you're on our Facebook or if you're on our YouTube or our Twitch or our Twitter, wherever it is, come right back here, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We'll have another on Tuesday night. We'll have another edition of the War Report talking all things WrestleMania and Raw after Mania. Thank you so much to everybody who came in today. This was a great one. You guys have a nice WrestleMania Sunday.
Thank you.